we're going to skip over this portion here on the course description, the course outcomes, and we're going to talk about that in a separate section later on. But for now, let's look at the things that we need to be successful in this class. You're going to be expected to have access to the course textbook, which is the Chang book, 13th edition, published by McGraw-Hill. Now, you do not need to have access to the hard copy version of this textbook. The ebook is perfectly acceptable. But if you do want the hard copy of the textbook, by all means, please go out and get yourself a copy. You can buy them from the bookstore. I'm sure you can get them online. But I do want to point out that if you purchase the Connect online homework and you get that password not only gives you access to Connect, but it also gives you access to the ebook. So if you purchase this right here, you do not need to purchase this unless you really want to. Okay? And also, you can get these materials on the first day of class because we have a deal worked out with McGraw-Hill that they give all of our students the first 2 weeks of class free. So if you don't have any funds at the beginning of the semester, that's a great way to go about it. Now, other materials you're going to need is a scientific calculator, and if you're curious as to whether or not your calculator is scientific or not, just look at it, and if there's about half the buttons that you have no idea what to do with them, then it's probably a scientific calculator. But please make sure you know how to use it. Also, everybody's going to need a flash drive. Okay, we're going to be collecting data digitally in the laboratory, and you're going to need to transfer that data to your laptop or to your home computer, and the only way that that can happen is through a flash drive. Do not depend on other people in the class to have the flash drives with them, because it always works out that they don't. So you need to make sure you have your own flash drive every single time you come in. Okay, then the other recommended resources are safety glasses and a lab coat. Technically, we do have safety glasses in the classroom, but I think given the COVID pandemic, it would be in everybody's best interest if you purchased a pair for yourself, and they're really not expensive. You can get them for a couple bucks online. Also, the lab coat, not required, but the lab coat does protect your clothes from some of the more corrosive and staining chemicals that we have in the laboratory. Okay. Now, as far as the grading scale goes, we're pretty much the same as every other course on campus. Okay, so we have the same breakdown of grades, letter grades per numerical grade. Okay, so in order to move on to another class, you need to get that 73.4. That's the lowest grade that you can get for this to count as a prerequisite or for it to transfer. Okay, but please make sure that you talk to your advisor to know exactly what you need in this class in order to move on. Now, you can see here that we have the whole breakdown of how the grades are going to work in this class. We have midterm exams, we're going to have lab reports that you're going to submit, and we have this pre-lecture and post-lecture. And if you've taken Chem 101 with me, you know that the pre-lectures are these Learn Smart assignments that are in the Connect software. And basically these are kind of like real high level, nothing too detailed assignments that just ensure that you read the chapter before you come to class. And then the post-lecture is what we call a homework assignment. And the homework assignment is going to be something you do after you've had lecture, after you've worked on everything else. And this is just a set of like 20 problems that you have to do at the end of each week. And then we have our final exam. The thing I want to call your attention to, though, is that the lab reports, you have an entire week to work on. And that's an entire week of office hours that you can come in and talk to me about them. So I can help you with these. These Learn Smart assignments and these homework assignments can both be done repeatedly until you get to the highest score you can possibly get without any penalty. Okay, so these three assignments here, okay, account for 50% of your grade for this class, and they're all things that there's really no excuse for not getting full credit for, which means that really takes the onus off of the exams. So if you're the type of person who gets test anxiety, this will help out a lot with that. Okay, and that's where we're going to